Peace and blessings, family.
Bless, bless, bless. We are here right back at you, family. It's been a minute, but we are still in effect. I'm just being honest, connecting with the Black experience. It's your guy, the most disliked popular guy, Barry Axios, with the Queen of Queens. She's not squinting her eyes because she's blind. She's trying to fix some things on the timeline. The Queen of Queens, the effervescent goddess herself, Mama Ro. What's going on with you, beloved?
Nothing much, just working, taking care of business. You know how that go.
Oh man, some folks don't. Some folks don't. So please let us know what you've been working on. We've been missing you on airwaves.
International work, a lot of national work, and a lot of local work. I mean, working with my contract in South Africa and down in Ghana, and then also helping my sister Javon down in Louisiana. The good thing that came out of war is that it knocked that Confederate statue down. So that was beautiful.
What's going on down there in Louisiana?
They had Laura. It had Hurricane Laura, and it's the Lake Charles. The hurricane came right through Lake Charles, and particularly the black part of Lake Charles, which is North Lake Charles. And I interviewed her last night. She had to sit in a place where she had bars so that we could talk, because the things there. She stayed and rolled the storm out. A lot of people left, but a lot of elders could not leave. And I think sometimes when we talk about evacuations, and if you're in a historically black area and you've been there for over 100 years, it's not as easy to pick up and leave. So those of us on the outside, it's like you get in your car and you leave. But I think when we talk about, folks having roots and homes, and some people think they can ride it out, you never know when this one is the one. You know what I mean? You never really know that. And so I just love Javon because she's my sister and she's such a warrior, and she rolled it out. So she's making sure that people have water and food, and she runs a clinic. So now they try to price gouge her in terms of things that you would need when you have damage, and you're trying to run a clinic and making sure people have health care and that they're treated. And so as black people, we just got to do a better job of showing up. Like, it's one thing to talk that revolutionary shit, but it's something else when something goes on like this. Black folks, with all the talking and positions we have, we should be able to send some supplies. And I did that before in Katrina. I did that before when Katrina happened. I remember sitting in my office. This is when I worked with someone else and watching what was happening to black people and crying, and having my ex-boss call me. At the time, she was my boss, and was like, we going to New Orleans, get your shit. So we got down there, bought stuff, and then we drove in to New Orleans. But that kind of response, as a people, we got to do a better job. We just can't be talking revolutionary talk and worried about Donald Trump, but we don't have a goddamn response for the Donald Trumps in our immediate lives. Or,
what you mean? Donald Trump sending some troops right now to help Louisiana.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the president, so he's supposed to. He did tour Lake Charles as well. But I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about self-governance, we got to show up like self-governance. We got to show up like we really can take care of each other as black people. We can have a response, not just marching when a white cop shoots somebody. When black people are in turmoil, when we have these natural disasters, our response should be better. Where's the Black Cross? We got Negroes in every position you could think of.
Whoa, we got the Red Cross. What you mean? But we need a Black Cross.
Barry, now look. You just messing with me this morning, but I tell you this, Barry, knowing my own history and my own line, I come from people who never waited on white people, ever. They all see the beauty I love about my ancestors that I know here. I don't do the generic story. I know my ancestry. I can go all the way back even into slavery. They knew who these people were. They knew what the system was, and they never relied on them to freedom at all. So sometimes I just feel like when I hear it say, we waiting on this white man, we waiting on this dude, they not going, I don't care who you got in there, Democrat, independent, somebody that blew their nose. They're not going to help us. Only we can help us. And we have enough resources. We have enough everything, honestly. We're not as poor as we think we are. Trust me, I just came from North Philadelphia and other parts of Philly. That's where I'm from, where when you're in a danger zone, it don't look like this out here where you got trees in front of your house and you can go get something from the food bank. That's not how it's looking in certain parts of the country. So being out in the West is kind of a beautiful, lackadaisical. It's like being gangster in good weather. Like ain't no real struggle there. But I just feel like there's those of us who know and can respond better and could do better. Like I told Javon, you sent, first of all, I sent money because you know you need money. But I also said if you need me to catch a plane and go to another city and rent a van and stack it up, let me know because I'm down. That's a kind of response, and I'm just not seeing that. You know, I'm watching a bunch of people holding it together because you know we always gonna do that, but we have to have a better response for us.
What is her Cash App or PayPal?
I can add that, Barry. I'll add that because she do have she has a Cash App and she also have like a it's called purse giving or something like that. I can't remember. That's what I donated to. So I'll put that in the comments.
Yeah,
but I just think we got I could do that.
I think that the unfortunate part about a lot of what you're saying, because it's all true, that we unfortunately will donate to places like I said when I said the Red Cross. I was being so sarcastic because so oftentimes we donate to the Red Cross. You know what I mean? And it's like Haiti's still waiting for the earthquake relief money. You know what I mean? And we oftentimes have these organizations, because you and I have an organization, and we do a lot of great works with our organization, some seen and a lot unseen, because a lot of people don't really see the unseen work that's really the actual work, right? And it always seems like it's a paradigm shift when there's a need or a moment where everybody feels they want to advocate for Black people or give some money to Black organizations during a moment where they feel compelled, you can get some money. But in those times, because we need funding year round, because the problems that we have are first centuries old, and we need that same direct funding of other programs like the Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs, and some of those bigger organizations, you barely get Negroes giving you $5. And I think, again, it speaks to the volume of where we're at, even though we have been shown that it's all on us. Even though we've been shown at the end of the day, if we don't get our shit together, no one is going to truly come in to save us. And I think that it also speaks to the comfortability of some Negroes in here in America that choose to pretend that they don't have to do anything because someone else is going to do the work. And that, and if that was the choice that we made, a lot of the young people that we've influenced, that we've mentored, that we've created or inspired to be different, because there's a lot of them out there that have been under our flagships, some for longer and some currently. You continue to see the repeated idea of white ice is better than black ice, because we would rather wait for Red Cross to go help a pretty much predominantly all black area in Louisiana. Like, for instance, we know that hurricanes are going to hit these places like Louisiana, Houston. And then we know, as we look at the pandemic, COVID-19, black people are going to be hit the hardest. Because if we supposedly are only 13% and we're on every level of when we talk about education, we talk about economics, we're on the lower bottom, you know, of all things. It's unfortunate that we don't prepare to get things together to say, all right, this hurricane gonna come, boom, we already sending our information and all the things that these people gonna need because we've already prepared. It's almost like we constantly are sitting back waiting for these tragedies to happen, and then they happen, and it's like we're running around. Some people are begging, some people are trying to figure out, and some people on their own are just doing what they got to do to survive or make some calm in the situation. To me, that's kind of ridiculous, because again, the unfortunate truth about it, to wake up all the Negroes, we ain't been here for a while to stir Negroes up. So today, hey y'all, welcome back to the show. We have plenty of resources here.
Yes, we do, Barry.
And let's go into the segue of when we talk about do for self, right? When you have a moment in time when you remember the Montgomery, Alabama boycott, that had lasted almost a year, I want to believe 381 days, when Negroes boycotted the bus, didn't go. The economic punch to white America, the way they felt that, they was begging Negroes and figuring out what they can do to change the dynamics of why Negroes said, we ain't going. We're not riding your bus. And every Negro was down for that cause, regardless of if they felt they wanted to cross the line. If they crossed the lines, they know the repercussions. And the repercussions really wasn't from black people. The repercussions would have been from white folks when they would have looked at you funny jumping on the bus like, nigga, you already know y'all got a boycott. Y'all ain't even supposed to be here right now. So I translate that into what we just recently saw. And a lot of people will argue the fact of why they should and why they could and why they had to. And it's a lot of nothing, as I like to say, because I don't think a lot of people know the value, and sometimes we don't know how to leverage our black power in these white spaces. When the NBA players officially did their boycott, right, that boycott lasted really only one day. Technically two, because they didn't play the next day because they had to reschedule some things. But technically one day. Now, to me, it was monumental in one way when they actually did it. They did the walkout. It was like, oh, okay, Niggles is showing heart. So you get excited about that moment. But then when you turn around, within 24 hours, Negroes flip and say, we're going to go back to work. There's really no power in that. And I know folks want to say that using their platform would create more change, but they've had platforms and we still have no change. But the reality, to me, it speaks more into the idea that why do we have so much opportunity, so much access, but we still don't figure out how to do for self? And when you look at these rich NBA players who have multi-millions of dollars, who in a mind of myself would honestly think you can walk away, you can take more than 10 days off to be away from the NBA basketball and to show them that your boycott is very serious. To see them run back and argue amongst themselves about why they have to play, it speaks volumes to where we're at. Because if these multi-million-dollar Negroes are still afraid to get off the plantation when they have opportunity, what the hell does that show for us, the people that are on the ground just doing the work? How is that supporting us? Because I don't see these players stepping up and saying, all right, we got something going on in Lake Charles. And that's not saying that some folks who may be from there will help do and help. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is there has to be a larger charge so we all can understand how to shift our direction of focus. Because everything can't just be focused on police brutality. Because if Negroes is just focusing on dead Negroes dying by white police, you don't even have the half of what really our fight is. The fight is a systematic fight. We're dealing with a oppressive system. And that means when tragedies happen, we should be the first ones in line. And that helps the places like Red Cross to follow our lead. No, Red Cross, we're going to direct that $1 million that you got with my $1 million, and we're going straight here. No. You're not going to give your funders a rebate. You're going to go right here where I'm from, where the pain is. So when I look at what the NBA players did, I applaud it. But at the same time, I have to look at it as, there you Negroes go again. Y'all just don't really get it. I don't know who is conversating with them on a bigger picture, but it lets me know, again, Negroes are so afraid to leave the plantation and be on their own.
I just rather take my chances with people I know. I'm not going to make assumptions about who these NBA players are. They could take their money and wipe their ass with it for all I care. I don't know them. But what I do know is the people that's in my community. What I do know is the brother walking down the street. What I do know is the granny. And if you look back at history, I'm forever grateful for history and knowing people who were living history before they became ancestors. They always would tell me, only a fool would ask his enemy to do anything for him. Only people who make an assumption that all Black people are the same, because we're not. But what you can do is rely on your own system. Create your own system. And from the beginning of even after when we were free, even on the plantation, we relied on our own personal systems because we were in relationship. We have this thing where we really think Black people owe us something. If Oprah, one time somebody tried to check Oprah about what she wasn't doing for Black folks, like that's her goddamn job. And she put 500 Black men through Morehouse. But because we didn't know that, we on some, I think you should do this because this is what I think, which sounds a little bit like a narcissist. But what I do know, the real work is in going to everyday Black people and say, hey, let's have a plan. So no matter, because there's groups who don't care who the president is, they don't care about they 2 or 5 people they got in different sports. They govern their own societies. They have their own rules for each other, but they agreed upon that. That was an agreement. We know that there's a lack of value in Black America with Black people. We've never relied on other people to value us. We've never done that until this last generation who probably have more education, who have more money, who have more access to resources than any of our ancestors combined. And we up here begging. There's something very wrong with that.
Well, what's wrong with Black Lives Matter? Black lives don't matter?
Because it don't matter. It only matters when a cop shoots you. I would feel some way if I was a mother of a murdered child and no one says anything, but a cop kills a Black kid or a man, or mainly men, we're all up in arms about it. We're like marching on the white man. I'm saying to myself, why we don't march all through where we know violence exists for real?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't.
Look, I've been in this community over 40-something years. Look, Black folks, the Black folks we have now, I think this is just my personal opinion. Them real brothers that I grew up with in the 90s, before they got locked away, there was some order there. There was some order. In the 80s, there was order. Most of them were killed or murdered or locked down. Now we have people that you don't have no accountability. You can walk up in Black people stuff and do all kind of bullshit. Nobody checks your credentials. Nobody go knocks on your door and be like, dude, where you come from? Who the fuck is you? Like, what's your spiel? Okay, we don't have that. We are the most unprotected community from each other.
Oh, yeah. Facts.
From each other. See, I'm at the point, Barry, I don't give a fuck about what white people think because I know who they are. I know what the history is. I know, and not just from a history book. I know from my ancestors and my elders who explained to me. I had people in my family have fought all the way back to the Civil War because I have the records of them being enlisted in the Civil War. I had ancestors, Thomas Odrick, who fought in the Civil War. That's my direct line. So I don't get to act like, and then went on and bought some houses and stuff. So I can't get with this other bullshit. I'm not getting with the bullying. I'm not getting with this Black. Look, Black folks is not a monolith. If you choose your side, be cool with that. Be cool with that because I like to know who people are. I don't like sheep's and wolves clothing. I don't like those type of people. If you're going to be a goddamn wolf, be a wolf. But don't act like you a sheep with me and I got to worry about you preying on me. I see Black women being murdered and I did it by their father, by their boyfriend. Like people in your own community. Ain't no white person roll up in there and kill somebody because, come on. I just posted about a man who killed his daughter and she was 7. Black man. It's crickets with us. We don't like to look at that hard-rooted stuff that we can control because if our ancestors controlled it in slavery and right after slavery and during all of the different crises that we have, how we come up with a word like systematic racism when they've been facing that since we've been here and accumulated more stuff and had each other back more? That kind of sounds like a goddamn excuse. Only a coward will come up with a word that means you don't have to fight for yourself, that you don't have to have accountability in your own neighborhood. Who wants to be with a group of people like that? I don't.
So you think Black people
aren't Black folks like that?
So are you saying Black folks aren't fighting? Is that what you're saying? Black folks aren't fighting.
Look, you need me to say some? I say some. Black folks still hear all. We know there are black people have been fighting. Before me and you was born, they've been fighting. But what I see now is this shift to us, a lot of us not fighting because we get jobs. We're over associations and foundations, and we want to make sure white people feel safe. Fuck I say. Because I'm not going to get killed by a white man if I'm going to be murdered. That would be like hitting the lottery, especially if somebody had a video camera. That's shameful. But if you're a black person, you get murdered by another black person, we write that off like it's okay. Oh, shit. You know, it's systematic. Don't nobody want to hear that shit when their kid lying there dead. When they lose their mama. When they lose their daughters and sons. Don't nobody want to hear no damn systematic racism. Don't nobody want to hear that. Because our ancestors came through all of that, Barry. And it sounds like an excuse. It sounds like these are some Negroes that don't want to go in there and fight. And I'm not talking about fighting white people. I'm talking about fighting in your own community to have law and order. How the hell are we going to defund the police and predators want to be in that place? Are you crazy? What do we do now when black people start doing crooked shit to each other? Then what we do?
So basically it's not Wakanda forever? Is Wakanda lost?
Hey, some people going to have Wakanda off of the backs of the good times, off the ghetto. Some people are already built their Wakanda off of the backs of people who are in the middle of this destitute. I just left Philadelphia, dude. I'm watching people trying to make it, but then being looked down on people who look like them because they don't speak the proper English. They ghetto. They live in this part of the city. They don't do what we do. We eat, we have to have steak and they still on bologna. We on some bullshit like that, Barry. And so we talk this unity, but we are such classes. We're such color-struck Negroes. We're all, some of us are fighting to hold the whip. We ain't fighting to knock the person down with the whip. We were like, let me whoop the Negroes for you. So
basically what you're saying, there's some black people that are more dangerous than the oppressor that we're trying to take down.
Barry,
talk to me.
Come on now.
Where's your fan? Where's your fan?
I got a fan blowing on me now because I'm hot. Because I just feel like we can do better as a people. But then I'm starting to believe that as a people shit is bullshit. I tell Honda that's bullshit. Because we're not a monolith. Some black people love it when other black people are struggling. Because now they get to have a job as a psychotherapist. Now they get to be a first responder.
Talk to them.
I mean, come on, Barry. I mean, I'm not dissing nobody. But my thing is to put myself out of business. I mean, I've been doing this work for over 30-something years, Barry. It don't make no damn sense. It don't make no sense. I want to be out of business. I'm dead serious. I can go find something else to do. I have a lot of things I would like to do. Right on. I mean, I can really find something else to do. I have so many things I could be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my thing is, sometimes you up here, my battles have never almost been with white people because I know who they are. If I get something that do well, I'll be thank you, God, thank you, ancestors, or whatever. But when I know I'm dealing with my enemy, police yourself. Look, Barry, when I used to have the cultural center, there was a group of young people. They were from all over Sacramento. My nieces ran it. It was called Sac Prodigy. Once a month, they would hold a big-ass party in my center. And if it was just your sign, Zodiac sign, you got it for free. And they didn't charge the kids $3-4. It was really dope. But I'm going to tell you, when I said the police was outside in the parking lot waiting for some shit, waiting for these black kids, they can bust their ass. Adults, look, y'all, tell me straight up, we're gonna have a good time in here. We're not giving them no business tonight. They're not gonna book nobody. And when the shit was over,
You think we can do something like that now?
Shit. But you know what, Barry? I think you can, but this was the kicker. There was a Delson and we let the kids do whatever. I was a picture booth lady, and it doesn't matter, I said I had to do something. But we had a Delson outside, like, look, when we disperse out of here, ain't no hanging in front of the building. Because that's what they want. Cops came up to us and was like, well, I don't think, look, this is my space. This is private. This is my space. We got our kids. We don't need you to control our kids. Look, it got to the point they would be across the street at the bingo part, like maybe 2 cop cars. It got down, because first they had a whole bunch, like, oh, we're going to bust some niggas tonight. That is called self-governance. We talk to the young people. I mean, kids came from out the Bay, Pittsburgh. They was coming to that once a month. It was lit. And they had a great time. Young people ran the inside with their little sack Prodigy shirts. They was like, everything was cool. We had kids that come in. You couldn't take nothing inside. Of course, somebody one time showed up some weed. Look, bro, we gonna hold that, put that plastic bag, gave him a tag. They got this shit back and went home. But we was right there. See, but some of us don't come from the culture where we self-govern. It's like the police ain't getting no business from us today. And I know that wasn't like, we didn't do nothing special. I'm from Philadelphia. There was times when people hook you to the game like, look, they're going to do this, you do this. Don't give them none. Take your ass home. Don't get them no business today. No Undertakers is getting business up in here today. You will not be taking no black bodies here. Because the only business, Barry, that has lasted all of this time in our community is the goddamn funeral homes. They got business coming out the ears. And I'm like, wow, like what's the shift in that? How do we do better as a people? And I'm saying, first of all, we have to recognize that we may not be we as the people, and that messes people up. Because I don't call it cancel culture. I call it knowing your own. If you can't follow the rules, if you have no respect for black people, do not pull me over to your side because I'm not fucking with you. I'm just not. You don't, and I can tell how you respect me by how you roll. If I have to go get a white person to stand with me to talk to a black man about business, that's bad.
That's huge.
Because I've had that experience too many times where I have to have a white person sit here because black people not going to act a fool in front of white people. White man up here negotiate my damn contract, get me more money than I ever had. That's shameful from a black man. So I know that was a lot. I just feel like
you saw me.
Man, this shit is crazy, Barry. This shit is crazy. This is really crazy. And I think some of the stuff you see is coming up around this election. And I really wasn't going to talk about it because I'm just so sick of niggas and the scare tactics.
Wow,
here's my thing. I think if Donald Trump gets out of that office, all these
LeBron said that we were scared black people.
What you say?
LeBron James said we were scared as black people.
That he was scared of black people?
He said we are scared. Black people are scared. We're scared.
Of black people?
Yeah, black people are scared.
I could agree with that. Not all of us. We know it's not. See, my thing is I don't claim shit that ain't true for me.
Well, I don't claim it either. That's why I said it.
But
I don't claim that.
Negroes that's scared of black people who ride through Meadowview with their doors all on lock. Like, oh my God, let me hurry up and get back to El Grove or wherever you live. And it's like, really? Are you serious? So my thing is, let me just get the Ice Cube. That's gonna lead it into it.
No. Go into what you're saying about Trump.
So what I was gonna say is part of the thing is that if Donald Trump gets out and the other two people get in, all this charity that white people have is going to stop immediately. And I ain't lying.
Oh, what you mean? They care about black lives.
Wow. Now I can see systematic racism. I get white privilege. Now it's like I got a black woman or something like that as, woman of color, as VP. So niggas shut up. Because that's the part of what they think reparations is. That person don't have my reparations. I can prove the plantation my ancestors walked off of. I deserve a check. Fuck that. The rest of the general niggas, they can take Kamala. But I'm going to need a check.
So if the check was $300, hold on a second. If the check was $350,000, would you take it?
A year, yes.
Because you already know, as they are more or less getting closer and closer to really having this be a conversation. The reality, right? The reality is that there's going to be a number, and there's going to be a number. Because remember, they may. Now, sister, you don't need 2 checks. You need a check for every month. You don't need 2 checks. You need an
annual check that lasts for 100 years. That's what I think.
There's going to be a number. And how can we put a number and framework on what we know? As much as everything that you said was spot on, I'm not even going to have a rebuttal. You was going in. That shows that you not only missed me, but you missed the people, and you were speaking your truth to power. But the reality is our conditions go way back to the enslavement and some other shit. And it keeps going because of the multiple things that happen: redlining, mass incarceration, civil rights, integration. We can throw them all out, and we always played into the trap. That's the bottom line. We played into the trap. They're going to tell you, they're going to tell me, because every time we say 400 plus or 500 plus, because it's always been where, as they say now, the term, they've always had their knee on our neck. Now, what you're saying is, okay, we're now going to come because we have to negotiate and say, well, Negro, here's $350,000 for your pain, your suffering, and your anguish. $350,000. Are you taking that? And after that, we don't want to hear you talk about no reparations.
Well, Barry, look, I think I'm not going to let that be. That's the reality. They can maybe offer that to you. But I think there's different negotiations for different things. I think that most of Black folks don't even claim their African ancestry, so you don't deserve a goddamn dime. If you reach back in your ancestry to prove that you got white in your line, you don't need none of that enslaved African money. That will cut the whole thing probably down to a quarter of a people.
But here's what I'm saying, sis. This is what I mean. But you know how, and this is why I'm explaining to you.
Okay.
Now, you and I, if they came to us as individuals, right? They say, hey, Rolanda, Barry, we want to talk to you guys. We want to bring you in the room. We want to talk to you about reparations. That's why I'm explaining the $350,000, because the way it's moving, you have organizations that have organized and have been really pushing for reparations on a government level, right? So fundamentally, because of so many other things that happen, they often have, okay, well, we negotiated $350,000. So they're not going to sit there and have you be in the room where we all can negotiate our own. That's what I'm basically saying.
Anyway, Barry, that would never work anyway, because all of us is not going to agree. Some people did not have enslaved ancestors in America. And if they did, it was like, well, we're a quarter white. Well, great. You don't get none of the money. All I'm saying is this could be done overnight. Those people who are really Black, who can prove their people walked off a plantation, should only get the money. But that's just me. That's just me. Look, that's just me. Right now, I think there's a country that's trying to get money. The Congo is trying to get money from the Belgians, from Belgium. I think reparations, that's great. They deserve that. However they come to it with. But I just feel like, Barry, we're never going to get all of us in the room agree on shit. I think everybody should go for their own claim. Because here's the thing, it's going to show how much you really know your ancestors, how much you say you really love them, and how deep this wound go. Some people have done okay under this system. Shit, they don't need nothing.
What you mean?
They don't do a goddamn thing.
They've done great.
They've done great. So I'm telling you, they came up with some.
They've oppressed themselves.
Look, if they came up with a list of shit that qualifies you, and it be on some real basic shit, no, very few of us will get any of this money. Very few of us even deserve the money. Most of us don't even deserve to get shit from our ancestors because we don't love them and we don't respect them. We're always trying to erase them. Oh, I'm mixed with this. Great, bitch. Go ask France. Go ask England. They got your money. But if your ancestors was enslaved and you can prove that shit, you know what I mean? And importantly, I would be embarrassed if my ancestors came through slavery and I went to jail on some bullshit. I would be embarrassed because
let me tell you something.
I owe them something for their life, and I didn't do well. Sis,
but this is the problems that is going to happen. I get what you're saying, and I'm not even arguing anything, but I'm just saying, Negroes, that what I'm saying, the Negroes who are negotiating currently, we are not in those rooms. We may be in other rooms breaking down some shit, but we're not all in a room coming up and saying, here, family, $1 million in land. We're not saying that. So whatever, this has always been the case, right? It's always been the case. And we think, and that's why the gatekeepers are so dangerous, right? Because you are talking for me, but I'm not talking in Negro. I'm not talking like that. I've been in these rooms and then I really got to see, oh, this shit's really crazy. Oh, I see why we're fucked up. I'm in these rooms because, you know, I snuck in because at that moment it's like, well, we may have to have some of the more unapologetic Negroes, aggressive Negroes. Let's hear their line. And my line is like, we need this got to change. And guess what happens? It be the Negroes that's telling me, no, Barry, well, we need. I'm like, wait a minute, what y'all talking about? I'm being honest. I've been in rooms where I said my truth. I'm having Negroes shook. Then turn around, Negroes roll up a plan, and I'm not even involved in the plan. But I'm the one that made the plan. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is real facts. I mean, I've seen it all, and it's mind-boggling. So what I'm saying to you, sis, I'm not arguing what you're saying. I'm just saying, like Sister Khadijah just said, Negroes will come, hey, y'all, we just got done talking to the governor and his people, and they said, guess what? We'll give you Negroes $350,000. And what I'm saying to you, sis, Negroes will sign that paper and say, give it to me. And if a majority of the Negroes are saying 350, we'll take that. No land, 350, shut up about reparations. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to take that because our value and our worth. But when you hear $350,000, just like when you go back to the NBA Negroes, we're thinking Negroes is making $30 million for 2 years. You Negroes can boycott some shit. Them Negroes is like, yo, bro, out of that $30 million, I only got $2 million sitting in the bank.
Right.
I'm going to go broke after a week.
Right on.
And these are the kind of things that continue to separate us. Because as we talk about our isms, sexism, racism, that majority is classism. Because we're really facing a deficit of classism where you have all of these elite Negroes, these gatekeepers, taking from people on the ground who have been working. Colin Kaepernick didn't kneel because he felt compelled. He saw us working. He saw us doing the goddamn thing and felt compelled, as well as looked at it like, well, I'm trying to get out of a contract anyway. Fuck it. And so that's what Colin Kaepernick became. It wasn't because that Negro just sat back. It was he had a new girlfriend. She's into social justice. He's watching the social injustice. These NBA Negroes and executives didn't all of a sudden just feel compelled to do everything they did. They felt compelled because they saw, 1, COVID-19 were losing money. 3, these Negroes are the inmates, as some of the owners have called them. These inmates are about to break the asylum and break out. So these are the kind of things, Queen, that in reality we have to discuss, because this is again going to be the fight. Because if some Negro comes and talks to me about $350,000, and like that's what we're supposed to move with and walk with, and we ain't talking about no land, Negro, we got some serious problems. And know why the gatekeepers are there, and know why they have a knee on our back, because again, Negroes feel they talk for everybody. Well, and I tell Negroes oftentimes, I don't speak for all Black people, only speak for a collective. And $350 is like a slap on the wrist. $350,000, truly. $350,000 is a slap on the damn wrist. That's like giving them folks a pass for all of that we've built. It is a continuum of income that comes from the enslavement of our people. Like the prison system is funneled because Black men are like cooperating by being in there. So I just think that our hardest issues and our hardest fights are going to be the fights and arguments amongst ourselves, and who decides to sit there and say, I don't care if there's certain organizations that's trying to rectify what this reparations looks like. We've all had conversations individually or in groups, but one group going or a bunch of gatekeepers saying, hey, this is real. This is real. You have to ask yourself, are those going to be the people that's going to negotiate what's for us? And I'm afraid of that, because Negroes have always lowballed us. When we go back to the Montgomery boycott, What was a major thing that did not work for the Montgomery boycott for us? What happened, Queen?
That we didn't get our own buses and just
And that to me was the downfall of that boycott. See, the Negro was like good sitting in the front. Negroes don't even sit in the front of the bus ever. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't lit in the front of the bus. It ain't lit. No, I'm just kidding. Did you hear me, Barry? Because it ain't lit in the front of the bus.
We go to the back. Feel me?
Yes,
We want to go to the back. So, you know, the simple fact that, again, when we integrated the civil rights, right? We talk about all the great things the civil rights did. Integration, voting. Negroes barely vote, right? And if we do vote, we don't know how to strategically vote. We vote off emotions. And when we did start voting, we didn't sit there and say, okay, cool. Thank you for giving us our vote. Now we're going to have the People Party, and the People Party is for all people, all oppressed people, but black people are leading the party. So it didn't have to be the Black Party movement. It could have been the People Party, and it would have been led by black people, but other folks could have been connected. It had no problem.
Some black people are head of prisons. Does that make it any better, Barry?
Yeah, exactly.
Black people are not good at leading nothing that includes other people, because when you have people who lead things that's black, they immediately don't help black people. That's a part of the job description.
That's a part of the bigger issue. I get that.
Look like you're helping black people.
That's the part of the bigger issue. As we stated, we connect the dots. Yes, but here's the thing about it, though. That's the problem. We like oftentimes believe, like I said, these are the things that went wrong and all these things. And niggas can argue the fact that maybe you see it differently, but that's just coming from my view. Because if we now have the right to vote, I'm not going to direct myself from a Democrat. I'm not going to direct myself to be a Republican. We direct ourselves having our own party, because you did not even want us to even be in the voting, like the voting process in the first place. Then when we talk about, okay, integrating, all right, now we get to go to some white restaurants. Nigga, that don't mean give up all our restaurants. That don't mean give up our businesses in our neighborhoods for something that you feel is going to be better because there's multiple white businesses. It's just like, to me, I'm fascinated by some of the things they call progress, but in reality, they have backpedaled us to a place where it's become very dangerous when we start talking about how do we now escape these same things our ancestors helped build, that they felt in their right mind were going to be better for us long term. Civil rights has not helped. Integration has not helped. And continuing to like connect and say, all right, for, as the sister said, for the dominant culture, we're going to go ride on your buses again, instead of saying, thank you, we appreciate the access for your buses, but we got our own buses now because niggas was tired of walking, so we created our own shit. And I think that, to me, that's what brings this all back to where I and you are both agree. We need to have our own shit.
I agree. You know what that made me think of when you said that? So in Philly, they have these things called hat shacks. And if anybody's from the East Coast, I know they got it in Philly, and they got them in Jersey, because I lived in Jersey. Those are people who, does it sound familiar? These are people who, when you go shopping at the supermarket or wherever, they roll up, and if you need a ride, they be right there waiting for you. They load your groceries, and they take you home, and you pay them a couple of dollars. What does that sound like?
Uber.
Now, that was back in 1970s, 1980s. I lived in Jersey in the 90s. I used to take a hat shack because I didn't have a car when I was there. When I go grocery shopping, they'd be right there. Hat shack, brother roll up with his car, put your groceries in. He'd take, drop them off at your house with you, whatever. That's what we've always done. But Barry, some of us really believe that we cannot function without white people.
No, it's facts.
Some of it, and I think the original sin of slavery for me is when you strip people of any self-governance and you want them to believe it. I believe that in slavery, this is just me, and those times leading up to now, black people have always figured out how to let white people think that they got them, but they had a whole other plan that they knew nothing about. That's why we're so good with looking at each other and being like, we do all kind of stuff without talking, but we know like we here. We do this as a joke, but we can do that without doing like this.
But I hear this.
Somewhere we lost that.
We lost that. But here's the thing, sis. I mean, you just said it.
Yep.
One of your biggest contracts was through a white person. What I'm saying is that oftentimes why I'm speaking upon the danger of black people is because even in the movement, I'm watching fraudulent Negroes take stands of leadership. And this is the thing about it. No leader is perfect. Malcolm wasn't perfect, and the beloved, dear Martin Luther King that everybody praises was probably worse than Malcolm if you want to look at it in a private level. If you want to look at it in a way of, well, Martin had a wife that this nigga just couldn't stop cheating on, where Malcolm started off as a hoodlum.
But so he ended up in the right place.
Yeah, exactly. But here's my thing. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, because I feel doing this work, you got to have some dirt and got to have some background to understand what you're fighting against or what you're up against. But when you are doing things that are like right, dead ass wrong, to me, we keep on embracing it and we keep on following it. We keep on celebrating. We keep pretending that it's not there. And these people are blatant liars, and you know better to do better. That's what becomes the issue. Again, we have fraudulent leadership on the ground, then we have fraudulent leadership on the inside, and then we have gatekeepers all around that will continue to tell us the way that we're moving in the right direction. And to me, that's crazy. How can we be moving in the right direction when everything I'm hearing from most of the incumbents that's coming in and out, they ain't talking black. They're not talking black. I'm not hearing about how we're going to, empower our black businesses. I often told, we had there was a racial profiling thing that happened up in, Marin County over in Tiburon at the store called Yama, right? So my folks was out there organizing. They invited me to come speak. And I said, well, I'm going to do one better. I'm going to create a cash mob. So after we're done with the, with the action, we are going to make everybody at the cash mob, and it was over like 200-300 people in this crowd. Everyone is going to go to this store, and we are going to make sure this store sells out. I'm giving these people, white, black, in between, directions of how to empower or impact us in a way where you just don't go talking about, oh, I want to march and I felt good. I heard some black people. Oh my God, yada, yada. No, put your money where your mouth is, because that's the thing that we often don't look at. How is it that we spending all this time marching, protesting, niggas ain't building businesses? And sis, understand, you know me, I'm out there to keep law and order, give some kind of direction, and to be a clear idea of I have to give the visual to my people to let folks know when media comes talk to me, what's happening, Barry? Well, what's happening is what's happening. Police are still killing black people. You know what I'm saying? I got to bring it back, because what often happens is Negroes will say, this is Negroes. I don't know why black people are destroying property, or people out there destroying property. It's all bad. We don't need to do this kind. I don't give a damn about none of that property. I care about what's going on now. And it's also to sit there and tell Negroes, we don't need your Black Lives pandering. We don't need that. We need the power. And the power is to support, not go ahead and feel bad. Support our businesses like we support your businesses. Because there ain't no way a Negro in America can only support black businesses, because there's not enough of them. We have to go ahead and go to an Asian. We have to go ahead and go to a Latino. We have to go ahead and go white. We keep on doing that. We keep building a surplus, but then we forget about ourselves. We ain't asking for the same damn favor. No, we don't need you to go cheer the black athlete and go buy the black entertainers music or watch the movie, because it all goes back to white people in the end. Go to a place where you know directly, you looking at black store owners, you know you that's a black sister, black man, black whatever. Okay, that's going to their people. And then we can do what we need to do. And that becomes the issue for me, sis. Negroes have not talked about elevating our communities. They're not. They keep on just talking about one direct thing. Now we're going to go vote. Okay, we're going to go vote. I agree with you wholeheartedly. A Biden, a Harris, a Pence, a Trump niggas are still fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Say that. But most of us, Barry, is we like, for instance, I would personally like to know the track record that Donald Trump did to black people. No, seriously, because I think some of us like he's racist. Look, we've been dealing with racist people since we've been here. I like to know what he did directly to us. I can tell you what Biden has done directly to us.
And let me go.
I can tell you directly what Kamala has done. We'll be so emotional about a man that don't like us.
But let me go further.
I'm struggling.
Let me go further, sis. A lot of those niggas who signed on to what Biden wanted and what he did was a part of the Black Caucus. These are Negroes. I'm just being honest.
Trying to tell you how bad Donald Trump is. When they stood right there, hell, most of them voted against Asada Shakur for her to come back to be on the American top 10. Remember, they didn't know her name was Jessica. I mean, this is just niggas.
Remember, Obama went to Libya and killed Gaddafi.
Barry?
I'm just saying. I mean, you know, and
his hands was tied. He sat right there and watched them pull that man out the hole. Come on.
And no disrespect to the great John Lewis. Y'all do your history. But John Lewis, I believe, was one of the folks that was with the whole, Biden and the three-strike law. I believe that he was connected to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so we have to understand that.
We close our ears to shit like that, man.
Yeah, no, because we don't want to listen to the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about black people.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, they don't. Here's the thing, sis. And this is a problem that we have oftentimes when we have these constant conversations. I've been in the room. You've been in the room, right? At the end of the day, just like when we was, and this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It was, who was your homeboy? What's your homeboy's name? Bloomberg. Your boyfriend Bloomberg. Your boyfriend Bloomberg came. What did he have? He had a Negro.
You invited me to that meeting, Barry. You invited me.
No, because I knew the setup. Yes, I knew the setup, right? So I called you up. I knew, and I was setting you up as well. But I said, sis, we're gonna have to do what we got to do, and we all there. Nichols, we had some great food. Oh, excellent food.
Oh, they fed us all the different. They fed us all the stuff that would give us hypertension, diabetes.
Oh my God, sis. But I was okay with that. And then the Negro politician, and I'm gonna keep the Negro politician's name because I'm just gonna keep it away. You know what I mean? And the Negro politician was like talking to us as if we were some ignorant ass simpleton, simple-minded, just kind of didn't really know politics or didn't have our own way of thinking kind of Negro.
I was there.
And boy, that Negro was motherfucking good. You know what I'm saying? And he was excellent. I said, okay. And I knew I was going to set it off first and you was going to come right behind me. It was like that thing that we just talked about. We don't even got to look at each other. We just feel the vibes. So next thing you know, the Negro said the Donald Trump shit. And he's like, we got to get him out of here and blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then I strictly said, well, contrary to your belief, Negroes don't fear Donald Trump like that. Well, some of the Negroes that I know, we don't look at him as this, you know what I'm saying, as you call them, the boogeyman. You know what I'm talking about? And I remember being in that room, how like niggas who was eating, dropping their plates and their forks, and they stopped and was like, oh shit, like here these niggas go. And you and I, as like the Hart Foundation back in WWE, we tag team on their ass, you know what I'm saying? And we really made them Negroes, not only the Negroes in a circle, but that politician Negro uncomfortable that we knew what the truth was. Like, Negro, you're not going to come and tell us what Bloomberg wants to do because Bloomberg don't want to do nothing but pander the vote for some Negroes, and all this is a sham. You're not going to do
offer, Barry. What was the offer?
The offer was to give us a certain amount of millions if we supported and we voted for him, if we pushed him up to like where Biden is right now. And that's kind of like, and then the other thing was he said that even if he does not get elected as the Democratic candidate to represent the for the presidency, he would still put some money in the black community.
Yes, he did.
And that motherfucker has not did a goddamn thing. COVID-19 is here. I haven't seen Bloomberg make one goddamn announcement. And that's the problem that we have, because the gatekeeping Negroes, and not all of them were there, but there were some gatekeeping ass Negroes was okay with the rhetoric until we decided to shake the rule and say, you will not come in here trying to pander and use your blackness to leverage our vote and give us the same ideology that all these motherfuckers constantly say. And see, that's what the problem is, black people. There is not enough Negroes pushing back.
Right
if
on.
you are a black person in these spaces and you continue to cave in with ideologies, don't challenge, you are a part of the problems of why we're still here.
Yep, that's real.
We've had 4 black city council members here in Sacramento. Here in Sacramento, we've had numerous black governors, black mayors under the Democratic freaking circle, right? And we are still in the most effed up positions that we could ever want to exist. A young sister, the Republican sister, I saw that powerful video. She did a video walking through Baltimore. She's a I said, Lord,
there's like 30 rows of streets like that, Bear. You could just go right up North Avenue. Bam! That's where they filmed The Wire at.
So, like, our suggestion to people, for me, and again, I'm not speaking for all black people. Yes, we have to vote because there's some things that we have to vote. There's propositions, there's measures, but in the reality, for us to keep on thinking one is as worse than the other, and we can argue that, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. I did worse during Obama's regime than I did on Trump's regime.
Barry, look, y'all want to hear that, but that's my truth. That's my truth. I don't do well under colored people. I don't do well.
I just am being honest, y'all.
Maybe if I was an immigrant, it would be a different story. But I'm just a descendant of enslaved people. I don't do well with those people.
I'm just being honest, and this is not I hail Trump. What Trump has done, and I will agree with my people. What he's done, he's opened up a deadly wound. A very deadly wound of racism that some of us wanted to believe didn't exist from the core white people. But the truth is, this is kind of what Black America has always had to deal with and face. It's just now right in front of us where there's no more mirrors. And I think that part is what scares me about the president in a way of, when I say scares, because he ignites that. He ignites those white militia groups to make them feel they're empowered when they don't even know. Trump don't give a fuck about them. He's just pandering to the base that knows he gets support from. But so he'll keep on adding fuel to the fire.
But isn't it ironic? See what you just said, that Trump don't give a fuck about them, but people don't give a fuck about us either. Because we support people who don't give a shit about us either. So, and the Canadian said, can we read some of the comments? Canadian, we getting there. But let me just say this. I went to a Democratic meeting where they were voting on like the top spots you can get in the Democratic Party for California. There was a Black woman. The sister was tight as shit. Like, she was the bomb. I got a picture and everything. Do you know all them white people and others stood up against this Black woman and put a white man in that position? Even though the sister was overly qualified, she'd been a part of the party for 25 years. How do we close ranks with people who don't respect us? How does that work? How is that you have done everything, put in the most time, and you can't get the nomination or get the job because, we're going to have to have this white man. We just going to have to have him. Don't talk to me about politics or politics. I'm so sick of this bullshit.
And I do understand why folks want to get Trump out, and I support that. I'm just not going to be the person that runs around and makes it seem like Trump is what created the racism in America.
Right on.
Racism in America has been what it's been. You know what I'm saying? It's been there, and all it is, it's been that Trump has to be basically the what's it called? He's the head, he's the face of what an idea America has always been. And subsequently, I think that for me and you, folks who are builders, and there are a lot of niggas who have built, and I get it, Queen, yes, dump Trump, but it's gotta be, we gotta dump some of these niggas as well, y'all.
Yeah, we can't
like,
dump
come on now.
the other two people who will lock up all the black people.
I mean, come on now. We gotta jump. We gotta look at these things. Like you know, and the only reason why I really kind of backed up Harris in a way I did, because I know her track record as well. I was just like, y'all niggas just ain't gonna just keep dumping shit on a black woman all the time, but y'all don't dump shit.
That's part of the territory, Barry.
Exactly. We don't dump shit on none of these Negroes who have worse track records. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they've been in government. And then on top of that, but yet still, most you niggas was celebrating Bernie Sanders, who don't even want to talk about reparations. Knock it off.
But she ain't talking about it either, though.
We definitely know that. But
yeah,
my thing is,
he'll lock you up for not going to school. Look, Barry. Look.
My thing is this.
When you get into this arena, you get to get all this shit like everybody else. Equal opportunity.
The shit
and
is
I don't know
this.
how we back up black people who lock up black people and then get mad at Donald Trump because he ain't locked no niggas up. He may talk shit about us. I don't care if you talk shit about me. I care about what you do. Show me what you do. I'm still waiting to hear all the people who are against Donald Trump, and I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but you're going to have to tell me what he's done to black people.
I said this, sis.
Like everybody else.
I said this, sis. I put a question. I said, what has Donald Trump done to benefit black people? And he's done a lot to benefit black people. He really has. Because if we really look at the chain reaction that he's created, you know what I'm saying? Most Negroes have seen that now I have no choice. Like now, I am really a victim of racism. I am really a victim of turning a blind eye. I have really been complicit to the actions of racism in such a way because I felt that my race really didn't matter because I was trying to fit in and comply to what they said. So it really made a lot of black people arrive to be black again. I mean, the agenda that was put out for us is so cunning. It's so diabolical. And I still think we might need 4 more years for us really to understand that we must build our own Wakanda. And to Negroes who may argue that fact, I'm with you, sis. Oftentimes we get these black faces. Oftentimes we get too comfortable. And we just constantly just allow them just to be there. And it's like, wait a minute, nigga, what you doing? Wait, nah. And then when a nigga does hit them with the what you doing, you ain't got enough Negroes to come with you to make them feel it, because there's always a Negro in the crowd that's trying to negotiate the Negro way that makes it seem like you are the Negro that's being too radical. You are the Negro that's being too turned up. That shit's crazy.
So Barry, here's this sister's comment, Sister Rosa. And this is another some black people are hypocrites. Y'all hypocrites. And we was in a war, we should probably just off you off immediately. So she's saying Biden and Harris are not just Democrat blue, but their laws enforce blue too. So we're fighting against the police in the street killing us, but we're gonna pit 2 people in that's totally for the police. How the fuck does that work? I'll wait.
I mean,
you can't win for losing with us.
It's like, but
at least he's a black person coming is going to kill us, and that should be okay.
Hold on a second. It seems to me that some type of black people or person is always elevated to represent us. A lot of the times it's rooted in colorism as well. Tina, you right on.
Of course.
I mean, like
that's why they didn't pick Stacey Abrams, because she was too fat and black to be picked.
Hey, isms.
Look at the isms. That too, but I mean, hey.
But I'm just saying though. I want black people to really understand. We Oh yeah. We are in a national pandemic, and he is not fit to lead the country. And he
I
showed.
don't believe that. I think nobody's fit to run the shit. Who's ever been in a national pen? You want him to smile as he screws you? Is that what that means? Are we talking about etiquette here? Come on, you got to give me something more than that. I need some snacks.
He's not fit to lead the country.
Has he cut your legs off? Tell me something.
But here's sister. Yeah, he's not. He doesn't. He doesn't have the right to lead this country. But when Obama led this country for 8 years, let's go back to it. Where have black people? Let me tell you something. If Obama was so great for black people for 8 years, 4 years would not be able to dismantle it.
Don't you better say that, because he had 8 years. I voted for Obama twice, for the record.
Me too. He put us against a national crisis. The man listens to no one. No, America's put us in front of a national crisis. What folks have to understand something.
I know you believe in the boogeyman.
The president operates from the Congress and the Senate. He can't just do everything. You know what I'm saying? Not more 4 more years. I don't trust them, but I don't trust them. And that's the problem. Negroes, let's wake up.
I can make it under Donald Trump.
Listen, I'll make it into anything. If our ancestors made it through slave owners who were presidents, I'm just saying. Here's the problem. We're in a national crisis. Do y'all really understand what that means? If you think about what's happening, our governor, basically what Donald Trump basically said is this. Okay, when we talk about self-govern, y'all Negroes, y'all states, go for self. California is like number 5 or number 3 richest. Like this state is one of the richest fucking places in the world. We're like top 5 in the world economy. California is top 5, not the country of the United States. California is top 5 richest economics in the world. Now we have a governor. We laugh and sis because it's just Queen sis. We laughing because it's hilarious because niggas really believe that Donald Trump is like the only issue that we have. Like after Donald leaves, we're gonna be better. Like it's not gonna happen because you still got a racist foundation. Foundation has to be dismantled. But going back to what I'm saying, he's allowed states to figure this shit out. And for me, if California was moving in the right directions, the president don't rock with us because of other stuff. Let's honestly do what we have to do. And California ain't did right by us. That's looking at Newsom. Because he has not put federal regulations on anyone really doing the COVID. It's almost like y'all do what you do. So to me, ain't that the best way to operate? California would be like, why are you waiting for him to come through? Do your job, make it happen. And we're acting as if, he's not helping. Well, we are the richest, top 5 in economics in the world, globally. California should not be struggling the way we struggle with COVID-19. You got to look at the leadership down here, not the federal level. Yes, has they failed federally? Okay, cool. But state is mandated to do what they want to do. And to me, that speaks volumes of the type of president we have, that he don't necessarily give a fuck, like in a way of, nigga, go do your own shit. Gavin Newsom has not done an awesome job. I don't believe that.
Yeah, that's their perception, though. Black folks are in love with perception. We want you to screw us, smile us while you're screwing us.
Gavin Newsom has not done an awesome job.
We want you to be our friend while you hang us.
Gavin Newsom has not done an awesome job because he's misguided us. He's misdirected us. It's 1 minute it's masks. It's other minute it's outside eating. It's other minute close of hair salons. Like Gavin Newsom, how the hell do you have hair salons closed and barbershops closed, but we can go to Marshall's? We can go, I don't even understand. We can go to the Goodwills. That's more touching.
We know black people own a lot of those kind of businesses, but we don't really care about black people.
But I'm just saying though. So in reality, it's like misinforming. And if you have like one of the top health executives decide to resign on your shift, that speaks volumes to what's actually going on. And I honestly believe, for myself, in my own opinion, Newsom has a deal. He has a deal with those folks that are manufacturing all the masks and the hand sanitizer. Because once upon a time, guess what? We had no access. We had no access to the mask. And all of a sudden, we connected with China, and now we got a goddamn contract. Niggles can get masks around the corner like it's like getting some marijuana.
Which is where they said the virus started, but we're gonna take product from them. Okay.
So my thing is, like, we are in a place where niggles have to learn to do for self. And the whole situation, if folks are really doing clear stuff in leadership, you know what I saw? And I don't know if it was in California, one of the saddest things I saw. Two kids, I don't know if they were black, but two kids, I believe they were black, sitting in front of a Taco Bell doing their homework because they could not. They don't have no Wi-Fi. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. So if we are doing good by governing, why doesn't every student have free Wi-Fi for at least a year so we can figure this shit out? He is trying to make us and condition us to normalize walking around with a bullshit mask. They're going to sit around and tell us on our podcast, why y'all niggas ain't wearing masks? You over there at your house, I'm over here, we got to wear fucking masks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they got us screwed, sis. They're going to say somehow my spit is directly hitting you through the computer screen.
Right.
So they're socializing something that when you have created folks to be social, to be non-social, right? To the point where we are in fear of walking by each other, hugging each other. That shit to me ain't no good leadership. You kidding me? Why the hell Gavin Newsom looks so goddamn good and pretty, and we got to go ahead and look like fear mongos and wool werewolves? Who cut his hair?
Barry, Rosa said something that made so much sense. She said, blacks seem to want big government oversight. Less government oversight will mean more self-accountability, which is far too many of us lack. Because we know we don't want to do nothing that focus on self.
And when we talk about Wakanda forever or Wakanda lost, what happened to your idea of Wakanda, black people? I don't believe masks save lives, Queen. I don't believe that. Because I've been in many places without a mask, and I've been okay. Right. And then the reality is this: if there's more people that have like survived COVID-19 than are people that have died. I mean, they want to fluctuate a number, and we don't even know if these numbers are really correct. They inflate the numbers. Now, they do it all the time.
Barry, I would say numbers. So Barry, I would say this. I think this also speaks to black people and their hygiene. I'm not confirmed. I think you should definitely be covering your mouth when you sneeze. I think you should be washing your goddamn filthy, dirty hands. I do think we shouldn't be all up on each other. We should have personal space. I think a lot of this stuff has to do with, when I was coming up, elders taught you how to do that. Cover your mouth, don't be standing up on people. Wash your hands, wash your face. Real basic shit that people try to instill in you. A lot of this shit has to do with basic cleanliness, to be very honest with you. Somebody got to tell you to cover your mouth when you sneeze. So definitely, we don't know what germs coming out of here. What I mean? It's very basic shit on people.
Yeah, and that, but I mean, do we have to have people tell us
wash your ass and hands and save lives?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody, see, this is the thing. Again, the white savior has come and said, it's the white savior that has come, and that's the white savior mentality and complex that we have. The white savior says, wear the mask, black people. Oh my God, we're going to wear. Instead of when you and I say, Nero, can you wash your hands when you come into the house? Right. Did you clean your ass? Boy, go back there and brush your teeth.
Right. Barry, I have seen people walk out the bathroom without washing.
And Tina, exactly. And stay home if you're sick. So wait a minute. All our lives, sis, one of the major reasons why I created my own shit out of many reasons. I started my own shit because one, I didn't want niggas telling me too much. I couldn't stand niggas giving me, especially when motherfuckers who didn't know what I know tell me how to do the job that I know how to do, that they just got here to do, and I've trained them to do, right? And then two, the ability to sit there and take a break. Like yesterday, I have had a full-on week of protests, interviews, actions, mentoring, programming, just this regular shit you and I know because of work that we do. It's in front, it's behind the scenes. I said Monday, I'm gonna do my 2 walks, I'm gonna do a few meetings, but I'm not gonna go outside of my my circle of my home. I'm not gonna go, but like 10 to 15 feet from where I'm at. I'm not gonna try to jump in my car and go anywhere. I'm gonna be stationary because I needed time, right? I can't do that with a job. I can't do that if I work for somebody. They have conditioned us, and they did this to us. They made us go to work when we were the sickest of sicks.
Yep.
Fever on fever. They made it, and now they're telling us if you feel sick, stay home for 14 days. Well, 14 days, am I going to get paid? Am I going to get paid? Like now, you conditioned us to go work sick. Now you telling us to stay home. Come on, man. I'm just saying. And that's the thing. And yes, Tina, I wear my mask for the etiquette. I don't, I do whatever. But when I don't have to, I sure don't. I'm not putting that motherfucker on every day. And I can't stand with these niggas who ain't got nobody in the car. They driving on with a mask. That's when I know motherfuckers are conditioned. What the hell are you in your own car with a mask on, driving, nobody in the car? I just can't do it.
I don't understand that.
I just can't do it.
To be honest with you, I don't understand you. Khadijah said, y'all better love on your family while they're here, take a bath, and live your life.
And we taking baths, we taking showers. Niggas should be taking 2 or 3. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Jump up after sex, take a shower. You know what I'm saying? Clean your ass, get the rag. I just don't know. It's simple things that we have to do.
So, Barry, let me ask you this, and anybody out there, why is it that Black people have such higher rates, even with this new pandemic? How the hell we get to be the highest people on this thing?
We're highest. Everything
like the highest people that's more effective.
Everything that's negatively affects us, we're at the highest. Everything that's positive, we're at the lowest. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, AIDS. Remember, Black women were like the highest. It was like at one particular time, Black women were the highest rate of getting that fucking disease of the AIDS, right? You got
population with it.
Yeah, and then when you talk about, but you won't hear about them talk about Black women getting college degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like they're getting the college degrees more. The average Black women are getting the most college degrees. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you listen to Peace King Charles said, when you listen to media and how media controls our mindset, and this is why this COVID shit is so, like, how the hell did we become the #1 COVID? How does that even work? It's just, it's constant conditioning and constant just social engineering that they've practiced on us, that we just bite into it, and then we have other Negroes that bite into it, and then they sell it to the dreams. Because to be honest with you, I don't know personally that many Black people, and I know a lot of Black people. I know a lot of Black people that have died from COVID-19.
Either, Barry. I don't know what.
I know that some niggas who have got it, but the same particular time, that could have been the flu. Because I would considerably had COVID-19 around the end of December, early January, because you know what I'm talking about? Because I had all the symptoms. So that's the whole kind of play. It's like we are always going to be the negative on anything positive, and then the positive on everything negative. That's just kind of how the world works. It works in a shift to make us constantly believe that we can't ourselves take care of ourselves. We need somebody else to take care of us and humble the beast, tame the savages. That's the shit.
So, Barry, I'm going to say this. When the sister says we don't take care of ourselves mentally and physically, whatever she, but I'm going to tell you this. I do believe in the power of, damn, the words up on my head. It's like when somebody looks at you and say, Barry, you looking kind of ill. You all right? That's a spot right there. That look like and then immediately you start taking on the characteristics of what it is that I'm saying you have. That power of suggestion. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. No doubt.
Like people always put the power of suggestion on Black people, and we accept it.
Yeah.
I love when I hear people say, "I rebuke that." I start laughing, but I understand. It's like, nah, I'm not letting you put
Like, don't put that shit on me.
Start doing that because that's what part of that is.
I'm not going to even talk about the sick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, and Queen is right. Poor folks are in these crowded spaces. Social distancing is a real issue. Homeless folks are lower rates. But here's the thing about it. Going to homeless folks. If this thing was such a pandemic, right? COVID-19 was such a thing. Why am I not driving down all these places where homeless people are and they're not a whole bunch of dead homeless people? Shouldn't they be affected the most? Where are the numbers for the homeless? Mm-hmm. The power of suggestions. Thank you, Queen. The power. Where are the homeless dead people? I mean, they should be affected more than any of us. They should be just falling out, right? We should be picking up homeless people and say, damn, another homeless person. I'm over the whole pandemic. I'm over all this because at the end of the day, you know, we as Black people, if we ain't paid attention to the pandemic, if we ain't paid attention to our constant battle with white supremacy, our constant battle with this government, our constant battle with white folks in particular, right? And these levels of multi-generational curses that we continue to pass on each other. And we have not figured out a way that we have to build, stop hating on each other. I mean, like, let's take out the Negroes that need to be taken out. Call out the poverty pimps. Call out the molesters. Call out the gangbangers that are continuing to kill each other for no reason. Call out the aimless Negroes who don't want a father. The aimless Negro woman who continues to pick the bad fathers and continue to think that, oh, it's okay to be a single mother. Let's call out the young people that considerably think that they can disrespect their parents, their ancestors. Let's call out the Negroes that don't honor their ancestors. Let's call the gatekeeper out who continue to perpetuate the bullshit. The Negroes who sit there smiling in front of white folks and just thinking that everything is all good and think Black people need to just man up and shut up. And I will say that we need to level up and shut up and start getting it done. I won't say man up, I'll say level up and shut up and get shit done. But let's start calling them out. Let's not like be quiet about it. Let's just say this is what it is.
Right on.
These are the people. I've been speaking on the people that I feel like got to get the fuck up out of there. But y'all niggas keep on supporting some of these people. I don't know why. I'm showing y'all. Like, it says, you know what kills me about Black people? Like, niggas talk hella shit about me. And I be thinking it's hella funny. But I be like one of the only real Black men here in Sacramento. And I know it hurts for you Negroes. And it's not about pushing out. Because you and I don't both know. There's a lot of work Negroes can do, and we would know the work they do. They don't always have to plaster it on Facebook. We don't have to do that on social media. But you and I would know it, and we would respect the line of how they do. But we know there ain't a lot of Negroes doing like the work that I'm doing all the way and how I'm doing it. So let's be very clear. It's not no disrespect. But Negroes talk a lot of shit about me, and I stay pushing the gas and doing the things I'm supposed to do. Why don't y'all talk about the Negroes that ain't doing shit? Like, I mean, the niggas that be yapping on that shit. Huh?
They may be signing their paychecks.
Yeah, shit. I don't even think some of them are. Some of these niggas is halfway bum-ass, class-ass Negroes. Be honest. I'm just being honest with you. Most of these niggas just be on the computer not doing nothing, and niggas love some of these Negroes. It's like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you niggas have to do something, do it to those niggas. Because I don't know too many Negroes that's getting together with sisters, my sister Aisha, my sister Dana, and we can go back and forth with each other, but we still say our common goal is what? Black empowerment, Black economics. We still doing our Black Food Fest. September 12th, the Black Food Fest is going down. September 12th, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. We are saying build the Black economics. Don't wait for no one. Build us up. We ain't going to wait for them to tell us, oh, y'all can't do it. The hell with that. Private Black property, we going to do our event. And that's what we doing. You don't see it. It's going to be at 2251 Florin Road, the Black Food Fest. 2251 Flowing Road. And this is what we're saying. Because of COVID-19, because of this pandemic, Black people, Black businesses have suffered the most. Not only with our physical, our mental, our businesses have suffered the most. And most of us have barely got PPP or whatever the freak they talking about, SBA loans. We had to do for self. So what we are doing is saying we are doing for self, and we need you, whoever's down with truly Black Lives Mattering, because we're speaking Black power. We don't speak in like bullying. We're talking Black power. Go ahead and support the Black businesses that will be there. And here's the touching thing, sis. It's all Black businesses. We're not taking other businesses. It's all Black businesses. No disrespect to my Latinos at this particular time. I know y'all got your taco fest. You don't see too many niggas rolling up with a taco truck talking about, eat me my taco. Yo, we got our own shit. But we need y'all to support that. Like we support y'all every day of the week. I'm just being honest, sis. Just being honest. But I get tired of these pretendo ass Negroes who don't really do nothing. Like you talking shit to the Negro that's really out there. I'm really on the field, like on the field, in behind, in the front, talk shit to them Negroes. Don't talk about me about what I'm doing. If y'all don't like shit I say on Facebook, scroll and move on and like some of these other Negroes that y'all love so much that don't really do shit, but just talk shit on the keyboard and don't ever do nothing, just talk it. They don't really live it. I be laughing my ass off like, y'all niggas believe these Negroes? And they're celebrated as if these niggas do shit. Where's the proof? Show me. Sis, how many Negroes, besides you or myself, and I know maybe a few people did it online, how many Negroes actually sat there and said, we won't fear COVID? We won't fear COVID. We still need to be with our young people. Mask up, young people. I only know you and I really that sat there and did a program. Of course, me and Queen Dana did our program. You did your program. And we did that because we knew our kids mentally was losing a fucking mind and they needed to be around people. Not no Zoom.
Parents needed breaks. But also, no, parents needed breaks. We still need to do I'm still doing home visits. I'm doing a lot of stuff. That's why for me, I don't speak from this in the comfort of my own home talking shit. I really be out there and it's frustrating sometimes because we'll talk a bunch of shit. We'll push a lot of bullying. We'll talk a lot about being afraid of a man in the White House and I don't get to see it all. We'll push all that bullshit, but we won't go knock on our neighbor's door and make sure they got something to eat or their kids okay, or we don't talk to each other as we walk down the street. California is famous for Negroes looking you right in the face and not saying hello.
I walk my trail. I got more white people saying hello. Niggas, I got hey, it's me. Like, come on now. So let's be serious.
All right, Barry, we gotta wrap this up.
We got 3 minutes. I want to say, shouts out to our brother, Black Panther, Wakanda forever. Damn, that was deep. You know what I mean? And I think for me, the thing about it, which spoke so much to what the culture was, that he identified a superhero, a Black superhero, and it gave our kids an idea that we haven't had for a long time. Not saying there was other Black superheroes. I know there was, but came to life. It felt real. It felt, and not only that, sis, it was not only the action hero part, but it connected with our culture. So when Negroes see us with all of the African empowerment shirts, the garments, Negroes is like, oh, that is us. So it helped us in our work. We didn't have to lead Negroes to Africa. You had one of the highest grossing superhero movie. I believe it is the highest grossing superhero movie of all times, leading young people and giving folks this identity of Africa. And so at 43, colon cancer, and we've also lost John Thomas for I don't know for colon cancer, but another thing.
Oh, the coach.
Yeah, the coach. There was another that was an epic icon because he made you one thing. Georgetown was a black school, historical Black college, and then two, he was the only Black head coach at that particular time that won a national championship and brought really me and my brother and so many to follow college basketball. It was him that kind of brought me in, and he was so epic, historic and all these different things. Cliff Robinson, another brother that passed away, and the multiple people that we have that have been dying by the hands of police brutality, by the hands of us. 39 children found, and I'm assuming more of them are black girls. I'm not too sure about that on that piece, but you know, there's so much stuff going on. So we need our people to be courageous, to be safe. We shall build this Wakanda in our mind, in a physical presence, and keep on supporting Earth Mama Network. I mean, all the shows, family, add, YouTube, share. You guys love the conversation. We see it on here. That's time for you guys to spread that conversation, because there's not that many people that are having podcasts that are talking this unapologetically black shit straight without no chaser. And we are really doing that. And we don't always have to agree, but we understand our common goal is to empower our people and give our people choice of making their own decision. You understand what I'm saying? So we're saying, if you guys are learning us a lot more, teach other people and pass on Earth Mama Network. You know, just being honest, connecting with the Black experience. It's been our pleasure, and we're going to see you guys next week.
Definitely next week. Y'all, I posted on my page a speech by the dear brother Bozeman, the commencement speech he gave at Howard, and it was so just powerful, very powerful, because we talked about your character and how he had turned down he had spoke up on an acting gig, and the next day he was fired. So he talked a lot, but it's what he got fired for that he asked the producers about, because they liked his performance. Yeah. And so, the brother he definitely played some great characters, but in life he was a man of great character, not just on the screen, but in his real life. And I think you can tell a lot about people, how they move in their real life, not just when the camera's on, or not the characters that they give you. And then he also did a very powerful speech to Brother Denzel. He basically said there would be no him if it wasn't for Denzel, because Denzel secretly paid for his education.
That's what I heard.
And that's powerful.
In 4 years, he made The Blood, that I'm still watching. Yeah. He made the Thurman Good Marshall movie, and he made another movie, as well as Black Panther, all in a time when he was diagnosed in 2016. He kept on doing that, and most of us would have gave up. And I'll say, to end, don't allow your obstacles to be your downfall. Allow your obstacles to be your opportunity. And the opportunities that we got for this brother to show us gracefully, this is how you move in pain, is so powerful, and that brings it all home into what we all need to be doing, family. In pain, in sorrow, with anxiety, with not knowing where we're going to go from here to there, we still must build. There ain't no excuses. 4 years of colon cancer, and this brother made impact, and now is an iconic figure because of what he did for the culture. Man, like I said, do it for my ancestors. I do it for my culture. We do it for our ancestors. We do it for our culture, family. Peace.
Peace.